It's been a year of us working full-time in our jobs in TSL, so what are some of the things we've learned along the way?
In this episode of IMO, we share some of our experiences as well as some tips for the people who are entering the workforce.
I won't go around and tell people really good on this, because I'm very scared.
I also do think that when you brag, you should know how to brag. Like resume writing lah. In your resume, you won't write, did a fucking bomb-ass video, you know? You'll be like, made a cinematic video and was featured in Singapore Tourism Board on their Facebook page. Let people fill in the blanks, but you just tell them like, this is the fact. What's up guys, welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. My name's Celeste.
I'm Brad.
Yes, and as you guys can tell, once again, John is not here because he double booked us. He could have been here, Brad. How do you feel?
You know where's he at now?
Where? Is your house? So instead, Brad is here and he's basically we swap Brad and John lah. You know what? It's better anyway lah. If you guys don't know, we are on multiple social media platforms: Instagram, Telegram, Twitch, TikTok, Spotify, IMO as well.
Oh, okay.
OnlyFans soon. But yes, do follow us on all these platforms to know when we come up with new episodes and all the new other things that are coming out. And today, we have Brad here because we're going to be talking about a topic that, you know, we both feel quite strongly for because it's our first year working ever since coming out of university. Is it your first year? I haven't asked you this before.
Is it my first year? I think it's
It's both our first years, right?
It's my 1.5 year-ish.
No, then the title...
Okay, yeah, first year.
it's the first year of our first year of us working ever since coming out of university. So don't count internship, don't count anything. It's just purely just full-time work. Because I do think internships and full-time work is a bit different. And Brad, for people who don't know, is from TheSmartLocal as well. He's from the same department as me and John. He's on the creative team.
And I would like to think that we are actually from the same batch.
We are, yeah, kind of.
Ish.
Same-ish batch. Like you came in like a few weeks after me.
Yep.
Roughly. So we both have roughly been there, so roughly the same amount of time. If you don't count our internship times.
Yep.
And with that, I think, I also do think that Brad is a slightly different person than me. In the sense that like he's not very emotional, or rather he's emotional, he just don't want to say. So all the tips that I asked him to prepare, he has prepared 1 or 2 supposedly, but it's gonna be super practical. I mean, because I'm a little bitch, everything that I'm gonna be sharing, all my tips will all be very more towards the emotional side. Okay. And more towards the feeling like you're in enough side, the feely stuff, you know.
How to handle your emotion basically.
Yes. So Brad, why don't you start?
I start.
What's the first tip you learned from working in your first year? Or first thing you learned?
Okay, I think the first thing I learned, the topic sentence. I'm trying to go for a structure here because I don't know what to say. Right?
PL.
Right. The first thing I learned, I would say find a routine.
Find a routine?
Yes, find a routine.
Okay. In what sense?
In what sense? Because I think I think it started off like internship. Like I asked my colleagues / senior, like how does she have so much time?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times we were spending time coping, especially for the first few weeks, first few months.
Yeah,
like we're trying to adjust because I think we fresh out uni, and then trying to find like what to do, and then when we also have access to adult money, then what should we do with it? Yeah, so
club.
You do. Yeah,
the Brad just went drinking a lot. Continue.
Then she was just telling me like eventually, right, you will find a routine, and then once you find from it, right, everything will kind of fall in together.
Everything will fall into place, right?
Yeah, fall into place together.
Because okay, so you're saying that like the start will be very confusing.
Very confusing, yes.
Because like you don't know how to adjust to the amount of time you have and the things you need to do, and also the amount of money you have.
I think also what you want to do with your time also, because you are. I think a lot of time, like when I was in uni that time, like your schedule plans around. It doesn't just revolve around school actually. There were a lot of random shit you'll do, right? And then it's not routine, I feel.
Yeah.
Then when you work as a full time, you feel like your whole life is going to be like this. So I feel like it's healthy that you set a routine and then to achieve whatever goal you want.
So what's your routine now?
My routine? Actually now it's pretty shit. I just Fuck.
What's your ideal healthy routine?
Ideal healthy working, I think, would be like other than work. Basically, I actually plan to like set aside time to go and do the things I like.
Like climb.
So like like go and exercise, climb, and then do Can I say?
Sure. do other side hustles.
Yeah, do other side hustles like
Like this.
like doing IMO and stuff like that.
Yeah. I get it. I get
side
it.
hustles. Yeah.
Okay, so wait, when you were first starting as a full timer, you felt like you didn't have a routine and
No,
you were
I didn't
just
feel-
it was very overwhelming.
It was
is
very quick. It's very chaotic, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
like you didn't know what to do with your time and you didn't just didn't know what you're doing in general.
I feel like that's our industry.
Okay, that's true.
Specific to our industry, because our industry like the schedules change quite a bit.
Yeah.
So like we have shoots happens at night
Yeah.
over weekend. So in a sense there's not so much routine. But I feel like I speak this I speaking this from like other industry. So like for example, I don't know, engineering, technical stuff. Like a lot of them find routine. Yeah, and I think and then they told me like it's like helpful for them.
But I do understand there are some people who don't like that there's a routine because you can when you have a routine it's very easy to feel comfortable and very easy to go in a rut. You get what I mean? Because if it's like the same old thing like 9 o'clock you clock in, 6 o'clock you clock out, you go back home, you watch a Netflix show and then you sleep. It's very easy to get stuck in a rut and continue on and like just be comfortable and not actually challenge yourself. Which is why I feel like some people don't really exactly enjoy the routine.
But I feel like the routine part is more of like if you want to achieve something.
It's like it's like disciplined steps to reach your goal.
Yes.
Okay. So like routine is in a sense that like you're challenging yourself routinely or you're setting yourself time to do this thing to maintain a certain discipline. Like.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think it will kind of hope. As in, like, I think the main thing is still about coping lah. Like once you set it, I think it'll be easier to adjust later also. Like ease into the whatever new environment you're gonna be in. Yeah.
Actually, that's quite true lah. Because even for me and John, we have a routine where we will stream once a week. We have to do an IMO episode once a week. We have to edit it or whatever. So like no matter, it's in a weird way, even like in Bangkok, let's talking about Bangkok, right? Like no matter what, having that one time where I went on IMO to stream was a great time because it was like
your comfort.
Yeah, it goes back to routine. It's like okay, the shit might be like on fire behind me, right? And like work might be hard. But at the end of the day, there was going to be that one thing that kept me going. And that routine that I can always fall behind and be disciplined about and keep going.
You find something familiar like your chat and everything. It's like, oh, it's back to like somehow it feels a bit more normal.
Yeah. Even and it's also good to I guess maintain a good work-life balance. Because if you set a routine, like for example, like we know some of our colleagues go dancing. Some of our colleagues like regularly does like tech reviews and stuff like that. Does he regularly do? I don't know, but he does tech reviews every once in a while. And some people play Maple Story or game whatever. Like no matter what your routine is, it's nice to fall back and have that little bit of comfort, so that you can also maintain a healthier work-life balance. Okay, that's a good thought. When Brad came in, right, he was saying that he don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
And then now suddenly he come in with the dimes, with the gems of advice. I mean, very uncomfortable.
No.
Okay, my first tip, or rather the first thing I've learned, is that I learned that I needed to pace myself. And I needed to, especially for full time. So a lot of people like have an internship experience, and I think internship is one thing and full time is another thing. And it's very different because of this one single tip. If you are an intern, right, you could and probably should chong your 150% every day. Because for the 6 months, what you're essentially trying to do is impress your employees. First of all, learn. Second of all, impress your employers hard enough in the sense that so that you can get a full-time job, get converted. So I understand if you're like pushing yourself, you're OTing, you're going above and beyond constantly because you have to prove yourself and impress yourself. I'm not saying that full-time, when you're doing a full-time job, you don't have to. But I'm saying that when you're doing a full-time job, you have to understand that your job doesn't end in 6 months.
Okay.
It's not after 6 months you can peace out A town and leave to school, or like peace out A town to orientation camp or some shit and like go to Bali or whatever. You have to work. You still have to continue working. So I think I'm learning to tell myself that there are days that I can only give like 70%.
How did you learn that though? Like is it you burnt out?
Yeah. So not really burnt out, but I remember like last month, I was looking at a KPI sheet. So in TSL, we have this thing called a KPI sheet, key performance indicators, which means like they will measure your performance and how productive you are. So I was looking at my KPI sheet and I was doing well. Not gonna lie, doing well, right?
Say.
My KPI generally quite decent lah. So
Usually one of the top ones.
so not too bad. But I remember I looked at last month's one, right? And I looked at myself and I was like, I don't know how long more I can keep this up. Then I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I don't think I can keep this pace up. And I'm gonna die out soon.
Okay.
And then that was the first time I thought, like, okay, maybe I need to like let go a little bit. Like it's not that I'm like it's not that my 70% is not enough, because it definitely is. But I do think that when you're doing a full-time job, you have to start thinking of like the marathon. You can't just sprint, you know. You have to think about the longevity in the game or longevity in your job. Because like you can like be very valuable in these 6 months, right? But eventually in the future, when you want to be more valuable as a team member, whether it's management or you want to kickstart other things, you have to have the energy and that willpower to continue to do these things also. That's my opinion lah.
I feel a bit weird though. Like it feels like you're as in, I wouldn't say. Would you say it's more of like conserving energy?
I don't think so.
What do you mean by not giving your 100?
Not that don't give your 100. I'm just saying that like being okay with me having days where I can't.
Being okay with you having days where you can't. So
like there will be tough days and rough days and slum days, right?
Okay.
Where like you won't be able to give your 100.
And feeling okay about it.
And feeling okay about it.
Oh, okay, like basically not so hard on yourself.
Yeah. Correct. It's not it's not that I'm like actively saying let's give a 70% like today.
Yeah, because it sounded over
no,
I was like,
I understand what you mean.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's not that I'm going to work, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give 70% today. I'm only gonna give 50% today. It's not that, it's about like there will internships is a lot easier to constantly give 110% or 150% like for every day of the 6 months, because you know at the end of 6 months it's gonna end. That's the 6 months all you have to do to survive is that you just need to give the 6 months all you have.
Yeah.
But as a full-timer, like you have to understand that like there's impossible that out of the 365 days or however long number of days you work in a year, right, that every day is 100%.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like there will be days where you feel like not as productive and all, but I regards to earlier, right? I feel like you should still
try lah.
I don't think it's try lah. I think for me it's more of a I would chong lah.
Wow. Okay, I would say chong in a sense that like if I'm able to,
yeah, for sure.
But if like I also do think you need to pace yourself in the sense that like you need to know when to chong and when to like not say rest or conserve, but know when to like take a step back a little bit. For example, like this.
When is a good time to take a step back?
Yeah, okay, depends on what you mean by take a step back lah.
Okay.
So for me, like to me, my take a step back is like maybe doing a simpler project, like a BFBV. You know, I'm still productive. I'm still doing my work and I'm still hitting the KPI points. But to me, it might be slightly more relaxing, slightly more chill, and
basically take on smaller projects.
Correct. And like for example, like I'm doing this homeless project right now.
Okay.
This homeless project is taking like all my life, right?
It's a big project.
I'm dying,
right?
Like
it's a big project.
And if I take on another big project after this, I'm just looking for trouble.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just looking to burn myself out only. So after this whole thing, I'm probably just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be doing BFBVs for like a week or two. Just let me like relax for a while, chill a bit, and think of the next big project, and then I chill one more time and all that. So it's not that you're giving 70% or you're like unproductive for a period of time. It's more of like knowing how to pace out these tougher things and knowing how to make it such that you don't burn out lah. Because you can chong like 3 big projects in a row, but if after those 3 big projects you like die and you straight up cannot function, then you're not. There's no point in doing that, you know.
But that's the whole thing about I think first job. So like a lot of us, I think the fresh out of uni grads, we tend to chong because I think we want to impress. I think also we don't know what's the standard.
Yeah, I get what I mean.
We don't know what's the standard. Like we don't know what other people are looking, how people are looking at you. And then I think a lot of times like the old stuff, I would say, they will, especially I think in the professional field, like a more, I wouldn't say ours is not professional, but more like the more technical field, right? They will look at like, oh my god, they will judge like basically the the new grads, how are they doing? So it's very, it's very.
You feel like you need to prove
common.
yourself.
Yeah. No, it's very common for like people to like just chong and then like do the best they can.
I do think that you should do the best you can. And in that sense, that if you I don't define 100% as doing the best you can. Because I think you should always do the best you can. But sometimes doing the best you can means it's 70%.
Yeah.
Sometimes doing the best you can is 65 or whatever because like you're just having a bad day. And I think as a full-timer, more so than an intern, you should be more okay with it.
But then at the same time, I also feel like I don't know. I think I just heard a lot of stories from my friends that actually like the older you are, like especially in the workplace, right, the more chill you're about it. And then like it's always for some reason it's always a fresh grad that gets the shit.
What I mean?
Do you get what I mean?
No.
So like for example, they are a lot more relaxed in their work.
Like the first grads?
No.
Oh, like
the old stuff. The older stuff. Yeah.
And then they bear the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they are the one that kind of like have to do everything.
I do think that then maybe I feel like maybe next year we should do a follow-up episode. Because I do think that for the first year, the bigger problem might probably be that you chong a bit too hard, or you are not taking of your mental health or your mental well-being as much as you should. But maybe as you go further on into your career, then maybe it's like
you know the expectation already.
Yeah.
So and since you are just living your, I won't say living your days. I don't want to use the word, but just living your days.
Autopilot.
Yeah. Then you just like do the bare minimum to survive.
Yeah. So then in that sense, maybe in like 3 years time when we do another episode that says like what have I learned from my 5 years of working, that maybe one of the things that maybe don't rest on my laurels and like don't be too overconfident and don't be too comfortable in a certain thing. But I think for first years, from what I learned, because the default is that we are hustling. We're trying to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
I do think that taking care of your mental health and understanding that there will be days where the best you can do is 70% or the best you can do is 60% and being okay with it is quite important to longevity in the game. Because at the end of the day, this is our first year only. We have a whole ass fucking like 30 years of us working. So we can't like burn ourselves out in the first year for like just cause of
actually,
this.
right? Because when I was thinking about what to say, I did think, and I think one of the points I wanted to put, right, is to chong as hard as you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Like now?
Yeah, for first years.
Why?
Because first years, right, is where the time I think a lot of us tend to, is it called job switch? Like hop around for progression.
Like fine. Yeah.
So I feel like more often than not, right, when you do that, like let's say you chong a good period of time, then you learn as much as you can when you're younger. It's more of the it's more of a mindset of like you learn and experience as much as you can when you're younger.
Yeah.
And then when you hop around, you make use of a time period to rest yourself, pace yourself, chill out, and then you chong again.
Oh, you mean like the hop is the chill out period?
Yeah. The hop will be a chill out period. And then you make use of the time to
Yeah, to rest and like recuperate and all that.
Basically.
Yeah, I understand. I think the chong, I do agree that you should try to learn as much as you can in your first year. So, in that sense, you should be working as hard as you can. And I'm just saying that like there will be days where it isn't very good.
Yeah. Because
there will be days that your best isn't that great.
Because like I think a lot of us when we wouldn't think of like settling at a place lah. I feel.
Yeah. I guess so.
Not saying I'm gonna leave TSL. but it's more of a bit distracted.
I mean, it's just like
Are you recording at the moment? Yeah. But it's more of a. I would think of it as if I were to, let's say, for reference, for information, I was in the engineering field. Yeah. So I would think like if let's say I go that path, right, I wouldn't want to stay in the company for too long. I would just like, for example, 1 year I hop, 1 year I hop, 1 year I hop. So if I was still in the mindset, right, I will probably chong as hard as I can in that 1 year, and then I rest, and then I hop and like I progress from there.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, like no matter how you do it, I do think that the core thing that I learned was like learning how to take care of my mental health. And like I'm just saying that as an intern, it's less of a priority because you can quote unquote ruin your mental health and mental well-being, right?
Don't lah.
You can. And you will probably get away with it because after 6 months you're going somewhere else or you're doing something and it ends. But if you are a full-timer, like you can't just ruin your mental well-being. Because once you do, like it's very difficult to get back up. and you are for a period of time like a essentially useless member of your team, and that sucks more than if you had just like paced yourself properly and be sustainable in the things you do
Yeah.
and be more of a marathon runner than a sprinter lah.
Yeah,
But
I
just
agree.
me. But actually goes quite actually the whole thing about like first years proving yourself, right? Go quite well in my second tip. So why don't I just give my second one before you go give your last one?
What's
But
the second tip?
my second tip, this is something that just I don't know whether it applies to you, Brett, but it applies to me a lot. I think it's not very important why you got hired.
It is not very important why you got hired.
I think it's okay. So the reason why I say this is because I am someone who is obsessed, last time especially as an intern, obsessed with finding out why I got hired, what people saw in me, and needing to prove myself to everyone, and needing to be that, to prove that they didn't make a mistake and stuff like that. And
Okay.
and I felt very obsessed with wanting to know why I am where I am and why I'm,
Why do you feel that you don't need to?
because I feel like it's very inconsequential. Like, I think maybe it's just me, but I do think that you just need to trust that you are
Trust
here
what?
for a reason. You don't need to know the actual reason.
You don't need to know. You feel like you don't need to know. You just need to know that there is a reason.
There's a reason, and believe in it. Believe you deserve to be there.
Ooh, wow, I think it's a bit difficult though.
I agree. To me it's like, okay, the reason why I say this is also because like when I was an intern, right? I know this is about full timer, but I think it's quite relevant still. When I was an intern, I remember asking like the person who hired me, Sean, like why did I get hired? And he didn't want to tell me for a while, but eventually he did. He said like, oh, because you're quite impressed by your ideation skills.
Okay.
And I think that ruined me. That fucking ruined me. Because
like you feel that it's your strong suit and you have to perform it and match up to the expectation and standard.
Exactly. But in my head is, I think, in my opinion, you just need to trust that you're there for a reason. And whether or not that reason is still true to this day doesn't matter. As long as you're working hard enough, you're contributing enough value, and you are giving them either fulfilling the same reason or giving them another reason.
But let's say prior to that, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that were you aware that you are kind of like good at it?
The thing is that like it ruined me because like after a while, I wasn't doing very well in it. Then in my head it's like, the one reason they hired me is now gone. Like I'm not doing well in that one reason they are hiring me. Then why am I here?
Okay.
But I think that's just like placing too much emphasis in the reason why someone hired you. Because there often is more than one reason lah. And the more you focus on that one reason, the more it's going to distract you from the fact that you can create other reasons while you're working. Do other
things, okay. Yep.
Right? Like eventually I created my own reasons and it's probably beyond ideation. And this time maybe the reason why Adrian and Hui hired me is some other reason, but I'm quite sure as I came in, I found other reasons to be valuable and to contribute to the team and other reasons why they want me to be on the team lah. So to me, very difficult to do, but I would say like try not to think too much about and just trust that you deserve to be there and try to like not say prove yourself, but try to continuously try to provide value and give them, regardless of the original reason, give them more reasons for you to
Actually, I have a question, but it's somehow related to it, but it's not exactly it.
Yeah.
I think we have talked about this before.
Yeah.
Basically, it's about like shortchanging yourself. Okay, not say shortchanging yourself.
Like being insecure about yourself and your abilities.
Like be humble about your abilities.
Yeah.
Versus knowing where you stand. Like where do you draw the line, you know?
I think it's hardest for the first timer also because you don't know where you stand because you are not there for a long time. And then at the same time, you want to be humble enough and self-aware enough to admit that you have flaws because
you can improve on a lot of things.
Because you're your first year, obviously.
And then but then at the same time, you cannot let people, you need to let people know that you are good at certain things. And also
your first year, your first few years, you're trying to fight for promotions, you're trying to fight for raises and stuff like that. You cannot just be super humble all the time.
Yeah, you need to tell HR like why you're like good at how basically how to sell yourself, that kind of thing.
Wow, that's tough. Do you have a tip?
Wow, do I have a tip?
for
But
that?
I feel like, but I think it's more of like a me thing. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm more towards the being humble yourself rather than
being humble
being humble about everything
rather than like
rather than like telling people what I can do.
okay, I got what I mean.
Cause wow, I feel like this one a bit is very difficult. But I just feel like if people are aware, then they know. If people know, they know. And
Like your
maybe
words
at
speak
the
for
same
yourself,
time, I'm
lah.
also not super confident about the things lah.
Yeah,
About things in general. About my skills in general. Oh no. Now you
yeah.
make me feel very insecure.
I got what I mean.
Yeah.
So you okay.
I think in general, I'm just not a very insecure person.
Especially about work and
Yeah,
work
especially
quality.
about
Yeah,
work. Because I
100%.
think because I started I started not since I started. Basically since like intern times, I've been trying to like prove myself a bit. So in that sense,
You got a chip on your shoulder. Will you say that? Will you go that far? I used to have a chip on my shoulder,
uh-huh.
and I feel like it's like quite burdensome. Like, I know this sounds very weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel the need to like prove myself. Not that I think I'm perfect.
Uh-huh.
I just, if anything, I'm proving myself to myself rather than to anyone else. You know what I mean?
I think that's why I said like, I care about what a lot of people think actually. Especially people I care.
I think it's also because I feel like my standards are always higher than anyone else's standards on me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
On yourself.
Like there's no way that what people expect from me is higher than what I expect from myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why. But I understand the chip on the shoulder thing. I'm trying very hard to get rid of it
Mm-hmm.
because like even okay, honestly, right? You know, like there's this company that like rejected me or whatever, right?
Oh yeah.
And like recently, they they released a video.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then,
Okay.
and then wow. Wow. He fired me up, man. I don't know why. But I felt so much motivation. I felt a surge of motivation I've never felt in such a long time, man. But like I do it, it sounds like a great thing, but I think it's a bad thing.
Okay.
To have a chip on your shoulder all the time. I feel like eventually it's not a good thing. Okay, but going back to the whole like when to sell yourself and everything.
Yeah.
I do think it's a time and place. I think understanding when the time and place is good. So for example, like when let's say PR,
Let's say you're finding for a promotion.
yeah, I'm going to toot my horn. Right? I'm gonna be like, I think I've done this well. Of course I have flaws, but this I think I'm ready because of this. But like once out of that thing, all I'm thinking about is like yeah, once we're out of that thing, right? All I'm thinking about is like, okay, how can I improve? Like once I'm out of that meeting room, all I can think about is okay, I need to improve
But
now.
I feel like that's the thing about me though.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
Like you cannot do both at the same time.
No, I'm not confident enough to do that.
To say that I did this.
Yeah.
So you need people to tell you that you did this good. Is it? So if
I feel like let's say I think it's good, right? I will be more of like okay, I will just take this note somewhere myself.
yeah,
But I won't go around and tell people I did
good.
I did good on this because I'm very scared.
Okay, maybe like
Of judgment,
I
I
did
think.
good is okay. I also do think that when you brag, you should know how to brag.
Is it a skill?
I think so.
Is there a way?
I feel like if you go up and say like, I think this video was amazing, you're like, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it was like, okay,
Okay.
it was fine, I guess. But you say like you and there are some people who brag and then I feel very weird about it. But like I do think that like if you go up and say that like, okay, I think that for example the Green Grace video,
Okay.
I think I'm very proud of the Green Grace video because it was the first of its kind and I thought that for the first it was quite decent and I think it opened up a lot of doors for other types of videos. Like saying that sounds better than I think this video fucking good, yeah.
You're just okay, basically elaborate.
Elaborate and be more objective about it also lah. About what it actually is. I do think that like this video fucking good or I did this very well is not an objective thing to say.
Okay.
But saying that like, okay, I did this, it's almost like writing a resume.
Okay.
I for example, like I edited for this campaign and this video got 100,000 views. Like it's very objective. I did this and this happened. and then let everyone else decide
Be the
whether
judge
or
of
not
it.
you
Okay,
did
okay,
well
okay.
or not.
Basically, be.
Say your achievements in a very objective way. I think that's the way I would
That's
do
the
it.
way to brag it.
That's my way of bragging.
I think that's a good tip.
Yeah,
That's a
like
good tip.
it's like resume writing lah. You can't go in your resume. You won't write did a fucking bomb ass video. You
Okay,
know?
okay.
You'll be like made a cinematic video and was featured in Singapore Tourism Board on their Facebook page.
So basically, list out the facts.
Then let everyone figure out that's a good thing. That means that video is good.
Okay.
Let people fill in the blanks, but you just tell them like this is the fact. I did this. It was the first of its kind. I did this. I spearheaded this campaign, whatever. And I think in that sense, the bragging won't be that bad as long as you don't put a valence to what you did.
But I think that's actually what I did when I was trying to fight for my role.
Yeah, lor.
Yeah, but that didn't come out for me lah. As in like someone helped me lah.
Oh, someone helped you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they were teaching me like how to say like basically okay. I think maybe another tip.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be a point, but I think it's just more of a. Let's say you need to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I think you need to be prepared.
Like
you cannot just go inside and wing it.
Oh yeah, when meetings.
No, in general, I think meeting with the HR or like when you're trying to fight for your first job or job promotion, this kind of thing, I think go in with the things that you want to say in mind.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like a lot of us don't.
100%.
Especially people like me, because I think I'm more
wing it kind of guy.
Yeah, more winging kind of guy, like more free. Like you don't prepare, then at the end of the day you will regret. Basically, 100%. go inside with a bullet lah.
Go inside
100%. With bullets. Yeah, like and then like
know
like
what
he say, like list out the things that you did. And you that you think deserve recognition.
Yeah.
You don't have to say I did good at this, but you can just say
I did this.
This one has a what, and then you can do this for what.
Yeah.
I think that's
that's what I try to. It's almost like resume writing lah. You just list out the facts, like the pure facts.
But don't brag.
But I do think that it's damn irritating if you go up and say like, so I did this video and the video nice lah. The video good, yeah. I don't know. Like it sounds weird. Like you say like, I think the video was well done.
Okay.
Such a weird thing to do. Yeah, I think you just like state the facts lah. Like first of its kind or spearheaded this new thing. Basically, I think that's a right. Brag it in the sense that bragging is just bring to the forefront what you feel like you have achieved lah.
Definitely.
And then let everything else like the work quality wise or whatever, let them be the judge of it.
Yeah.
But everything, the facts just state it out lah. So that's my way of bragging lah, and that's what I tried to do.
But I think it's a good tip.
Yeah. Is there any one
I kind of
last?
did it also like subconsciously, as in without thinking.
But I think it's the natural way of bragging also lah. Cause like the other way is just weird. It's like, I'm a good leader. Why? Who says so? If someone comes to me and say like, yeah, so I think that I'm a good leader. Then you'll be like,
okay, but you know what?
Right?
Even after this conversation, I feel like tomorrow, basically we're having a PR tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel like I still won't say anything.
But what you did?
What they know what I did? What?
No, but
why do I need to say?
Bring it to the forefront.
Isn't it damn weird?
You are setting the tone of the message of the meeting, right? No, man. Okay, I do think that I do think that PRs also, first of all, bragging is important. But also I do think that the PR is also there so that you learn what you can do better.
Yeah,
so I understand your concern.
Yeah, then what's the point of bringing like what you did? Is like they are the one that giving you feedback about what you did, right?
Yeah.
Then
But maybe they missed out something. Maybe they forgot that you did that one thing.
Why does it matter?
Then because they are grading you.
Oh, they are? Alright, yeah.
And your bonus is depending on it. Your bonus, your promotion, everything depending on it. With your salary increment, all that is dependent on this. So I do think that as much
maybe
as
I should be more stressed about this.
You should be humble, you should be self-aware, and you should be understanding that there are flaws, that there are things that you can improve. That's 100%. That's given. You have to. But you should also know when to be like, okay, I think this is also being recognition.
Okay.
I think I did this and it's being glossed over, but I feel like it was important and it helped us a lot.
Then should you try to turn your negative into positive?
No, I don't think so. I that's another thing. I feel like, right, if you fucked up, you fucked up. Another thing, I do think that you have to own up to your mistakes. I think that's generally a job tip, full stop. Like whether or not you full-time or intern, you have to be accountable for when you fucked up lah, and the flaws that you have lah. If Adriel come and tell me like, Lester, I feel like your photos have to improve, which by the way has happened before. Lester, your photos have to improve. If I go in like, no, I think it's quite well done. You're like, the fuck?
Okay, but don't you agree sometimes, right? Photos in kind of thing is quite subjective, especially artistic direction.
No, but like, in my opinion, is that if someone give me a feedback, I'll be like, okay, how can I improve? And as what Hans Emma says, like, you say, okay, you don't need a brag. Say that what you did well, how you made it happen, your methods and everything, and how it can be done better. Ask for advice and resources. But I do think that it's the same thing for the flaws. If Adriel come and tell me like, Star, I feel like you weren't very productive this season.
Okay.
You weren't very it seems like you weren't pulling your weight. Then I'll be like, okay, I might disagree, but I'm like, okay, I don't see where you're coming from, but can you give me some instances in which you feel so? Or maybe eventually if I'm convinced that, oh, okay, maybe I can do better, I'll be like, okay, sure, like if I do this, will it be better? And try to make an active step to try to improve it. So it's an accountability thing. So for the photos one, I'm like, okay, first of all, I knew my photos were not very good. So I didn't really fight that one. Because I'm like, okay, first of all, I was very self-aware that it wasn't very good and I needed to improve.
Yeah.
So then I went to QC with Hui Wen, and Hui Wen told me some things like, okay, next time you shoot this, like make sure you note these things. And I'm like, okay, can. And next time eventually got better and better lah. So I think I got to the point where like it's not saying amazing, but like it's all good enough, like you know what I mean. So I do think that that's being accountable also. It's like taking the criticism and trying to improve on it. For sure. So I don't think you should try to be like, for example, Adriel say like, I think you take too long to do a video. It's like, it's because I'm perfectionistic. Like fuck off lah. Just try to improve and find out how to improve lah. I do. That's what I do think lah. Unless they
you can still acknowledge it and say, because I was trying to do something ma.
Maybe you can say it's like, okay, I understand, but I was trying to do this. Like, then maybe you can ask back a question like, do you feel like there's value in me doing this?
Oh yeah, is that necessary to spend?
Is that necessary? Yeah.
To spend like, let's say, another half an hour or half a day to
on this specific thing.
it.
Yeah. They say like, actually, then that's when you can align yourselves. It's like, okay, actually, I don't think it's necessary. Then you just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think that like, be comfortable in saying what you have achieved, but also being comfortable in accepting that you might not have done as well as you thought you might have, and acknowledging your flaws lah. Yeah, but I think that's generally good advice lah. No matter what stage of your job is lah.
Yeah, correct.
Because if not, the whole reason why people tell you is because it's things for you to improve, and you should have the one to improve lah.
Yeah.
Is there any one last tip to send us off, Brett?
Okay, let me think.
Or is that all for you? I was a lot.
Maybe
I talk a lot longer than I thought I was going.
Is it?
Yeah, continue.
Because it just went on. Okay, maybe one thing I would say.
Yeah.
Wow, don't be afraid to quit.
Ooh. Okay.
So why I say that, I think is because like some people, but I feel like this one, I'm not an expert. I'm only. I graduated like what last year. So I don't think I can say much, but I feel like it's something that I think everybody can take note. It's more of like, if you feel uncomfortable at a place, if you don't like the environment, don't be afraid to consider to make it an option to quit.
There are better things out there lah.
Yeah, I think because a lot of same thing, my friends. Because I think I'm generally quite happy, contented with what I have now.
Yeah.
But a lot of friends are like telling me that they hate their job.
Oof.
And then they tell me they want to stay at their job because they want to clock their 1 or 2 years.
Just so that like
their resume look good.
Oh.
But I feel that it's an option that you can consider to quit.
Yeah, I think it goes back into the mental health thing.
Okay.
Like understanding that, like of course, chiong and do your best, but understanding that like you do that 1 or 2 years, but if you like reduces your longevity in the game by 5 years, then it's not worth it, you know.
No, I think it's more of like they are very scared that the future employee will ask, so what do you do for the next for this why is it empty?
Yeah.
Basically, what happened to this period of time? Because people are scared. People are scared that like like you hop around companies to offer that kind of thing. Yeah. So like I feel like it's an option lah. Like for example, for me, because I actually before TSL I was in another place.
Yeah.
I was at an agency. I was in an agency for like maybe like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And then I quit that full-time job and I become an intern.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's an option lah. And I think not a lot of people will I do feel like people will look at it for sure.
100%. They'll ask one. Yeah.
No lah, maybe not everybody will ask lah.
I think they will. Okay, partially is because I do think the interviewers sometimes they have like not enough questions to ask.
So they just ask
so
for
they
fun.
just ask for the laws one.
But
like,
then it's also
not
possible.
because-
It's also possible that they ask and then they don't care about it.
I agree. Yeah. That might be the case.
Yeah.
They might not care about it lah.
Because some people, let's say like they do like 2 or 3 months at a certain job and then decided to quit.
Yeah.
And then they think like it's not as valuable to put in their resume.
Yeah.
So they don't put it. So they scared that when they don't put it right, then future employer will question them.
Yeah. I think if you have a good reason, there's always a way to explain it lah. I think human at the end of the day, right? They understand that you need a break or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, Ford says, speaking as an employer, I am very impressed when someone tells me that the X job was tough. I see that they stuck it, but I see that they stuck it out for 2 years plus.
Do you think that's a plus?
I don't know.
But then again,
Maybe because I'm not an employer. Maybe
employer.
you should have an employer. But if I were an employer and someone came up and said that like, maybe because we are younger or whatever, they quit after 6 months, I see like, oh, I will probably ask like,
you ask what happened. You definitely ask what happened.
100% ask what happened. I'm like, oh, what happened in the 6 months? Like, why did you quit? Or what happened here? They say like, oh, I quit because there was a mismatch in thing. But I'm not asking it in the sense of like, I feel like it's a red flag that they will quit.
Okay.
I'm asking in the sense that like, okay, what went wrong in that situation? And is my situation similar to this?
Okay.
So like maybe they ask like, I ask them and say like, oh, we didn't really fit because my work-life balance wasn't respected. I had to OT a lot. And if my company, but in that sense, then I'm like, okay, then I reevaluate, like, is that something that my company is as well? Like does my company require you to OT a lot? If it does, then I'm like, okay, obviously this is not a very good candidate already.
Okay.
Because they just quit because their company...
Because of OT.
Because of OT. But if it's like, then in my head it's like, oh, my company doesn't, then I'm like, okay, then this is not a worry already.
Okay.
So then it's not the bad. It's like kind of like a relationship thing, right?
Okay.
Like if the last relationship I know that like this person's like, oh, I left after three months, then I'm like, oh, why do you leave? And they say they're like, oh, because they were controlling or whatever. Then in my head it's like, oh, I'm not controlling, it should be okay. But if they say they're like, oh, because they like eating, they're vegan, and then I'm vegan, then I'm like, fuck lah, then why am I here? Yeah? You get what I mean? You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's not a red flag per se, but it's just I want to find out a reason. But that's from my perspective. I'm not sure from my actual employers actually.
That's true. But then at the same time, I just feel, I really don't think like you should
stick it off.
Stick it like stick it out and then like maybe put your mental health at risk.
Yeah, the mental health thing is important. The taking care of your well-being so that you can work longer is quite important.
Yeah.
But quitting is hard, man.
It's difficult. I think it's very difficult for a lot of people because like you need to change.
And I think and I don't know.
Change is scary.
Yeah. And I think Ford also say something like impressed whenever they say the extra was tough, but I see they stuck out for 2 years plus. But I think whether or not the job is tough is one thing, but whether or not the job is incompatible with you is also another thing. Because the way you go, the job is tough.
Yeah.
Like quite honestly, like even in TSL, I enjoy my time here and I like it and I'm not thinking of quitting anytime soon. But it's still tough.
Yeah,
it's still difficult.
For sure.
So I will stick it out, but it's not. But I think being incompatible is a completely different thing. So if my boss sucks, or if my boss is constantly like asking me to work on weekends and doesn't respect my work hours, then that's a different thing.
Then maybe I would say manage your expectation.
Yeah.
Like it's good that you like maybe you should like clarify your expectation with your whoever is hiring you, your employer.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't match, then I guess
you
have a good reason to get that shit, get out of that.
Get out of there. I think there are plenty of people who like start a job and then they realize that the job isn't what they expected it to be, and after 1 or 2 weeks they just quit. I think it's quite common. I don't know, man. Because here's the thing, you can stick it out for 2 years plus, right? But if you are stuck in that dead end job and you hate yourself. Your boss probably hates you also because you hate your life.
Yeah.
And then you are just like stagnant for 2 years. Also sucks, right? So wouldn't you rather go to a place where you're happier, where you learn more and you are put in a position to succeed and excel and not waste that 2 years? I don't know, man. Thoughtful says, even speaking as an employer who experiences great inconvenience whenever someone leaves us, I recommend everyone to always be interviewing for other jobs 1 or 2 times per quarter just so you know your market value out here. If you think about it, there's absolutely zero safeguards to make sure you are being paid fairly if you don't keep in touch with the market and your market value. That's a very practical tip by Thoughtfuls. Something that I probably will find very difficult to adhere to.
Know your market value. Oof. That's also another
That's
tough
another-
one. That's
another
another
thing.
tough one. I think that's what we discussed earlier. It's like
No, that's a whole other level because it's like not just whether or not you're valuable, but market value is a whole other thing. Because you might be valuable, but your market value might be low. You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of valuable people.
just be the best.
But market value is a whole other thing. And maybe we should go into this with an employer or someone who
Maybe.
who has been in the maybe a HOD, get Adria here. I don't know if she'll say anything. Maybe we get HOD here and like talk about who are people who are more experienced to talk about this.
When it comes to hiring people.
Especially, yeah. But I do believe that at least from the point of view of someone who has just started working, maybe these are the things that I feel like we are more worried about and more at the forefront of our
Actually, I have a
minds.
question. What about
Yes.
finding friends at work?
I think it's a good thing.
What if you have no friends at work?
I think that not having friends at work is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Like it's okay if you don't have friends at work.
Okay.
It's just good to have friends at work.
So like let's say a place. Okay, so because you don't think friends is because you don't think friends is a very important aspect of your life?
I mean, it's good to have friends, lah. But no, okay. I do think that if you have no friends, it's not a negative. You know what I mean? It's
Okay, maybe not like friends. I wouldn't say like friends like you hang out afterwards, but it's more like during work.
like you must like your employers, your colleagues.
Yeah.
Okay, I do think that you should have a basic level of like, you don't have to love them
So is that considered like a good enough reason to
to quit.
quit?
I feel like as long as you're not like dragging your feet to
Yeah,
work.
like basically because you are not, as in, especially if you are not the not people person.
I do okay. I think we are coming from a company that values this social interaction a lot.
Yeah.
Like TSL is almost 100, not 100%, but very, very highly predicated on the fact that we care about each other and there's a community around us and everything like that. But I think most companies don't. Most companies, you're kind of your own.
No, not really.
Really?
Not really.
I think it's a plus that you have friends and it's a plus that you like the people that you're working with. But as long as it's not bothering you, I don't think it's that bad.
No, I think it's one of my friends like just want to quit because
No friends.
no friends. It sounds like a very like a very Gen Z problem, you know.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Like because I got no friends because I want to quit.
no,
but
I
then-
want to quit
but
because
then-
I have no friends with me.
Yeah, but then to them it's like I'm spending like half of my lifetime
Yeah.
doing this,
Yeah.
and then let's say I crave social interaction, and then I'm not
getting it.
I'm not
during the
getting it
work.
here.
Yeah.
So is this a good fit for me? Should I be considering like quitting?
Well, I cannot imagine it because I feel like we are quite lucky in this company.
Yes,
But
we are very fortunate
We
actually.
are very fortunate. I agree.
Mhm.
But wow, now that I think about it, maybe
Like let's say you are like that, right? And then you are at another company,
yeah.
and then you having people you like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
to talk to.
Yeah.
But then like let's say the company that you work at is generally like let's say people not on the same page. Or people
cannot
who
click lah,
cannot click,
generally.
or
Yeah,
older
yeah,
people,
yeah.
older folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are like the only young one there.
I would say I will try my best to make friends, but if they shut me off or they outcast me, then that's when I will start thinking about leaving. But if I'm not even trying, then I don't think
Okay.
I deserve to quit.
You deserve to quit. Okay.
Like, I feel like it's after I try and it doesn't work, then yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
But if it's like one of those things that like, I don't need to be the best of friends, right? I just need to be able to like
At least leave
go
your
for
day.
lunch or something.
No, yeah, exactly. Because I have friends that I have to eat lunch alone.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay, to me personally, I would try to make friends, but I would consider quitting if really cannot. If like they hate me for some reason or they really don't like me, then maybe I'll quit. Or like maybe it's surrounded by people who I really don't like. Like I'm like a bunch of finance bros or something. Then I'm like, wow, I really fucking hate talking to them. Then-
You sure you want to say that? You hate finance, bro?
Who knows?
Okay.
But, no, you get what I mean? Then I'll be like, sure, I'll quit. Like that one, I'll be more understanding of why I quit. But I also do know people who are 100% okay
Yep,
with
for sure.
being by themselves and they don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's I think given the fact that you are a people person.
Yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
even that much of a people person, but I do think it's
I
still
think
quite
just
important.
imagine, let's say you're trying to you can only eat lunch yourself every day.
Yeah, that'll be depressing to be honest. Not that I
Yeah,
don't
lor.
like. Not that I don't like eating lunch by myself because I actually do quite like eating lunch by myself. But if it's like every day I don't have anyone to confide to about work and talk about work and like to once in a while go and say like, wow, rabak oh wow, shag bro. Tough OT. Or something just like that, right? If I don't have, right, I'll be a bit upset lah. So to me that might be a deal breaker for you.
I think it's a deal breaker for me. Yeah.
And you're not
I
even
think
that
they
big of a people person also, right?
Yeah, I'm not that big of a people person. Yeah.
But that's quite a big deal breaker.
Yeah, I think it would be very difficult to live your days lah.
It's also no motivation to go to work also.
Yeah. So it's like you don't like me, I don't like you then.
Oh, 100%.
So long. But I feel like that's the attitude with the generation nowadays lah. That I think a lot of people don't like.
I think it's also shifting. So all the tips that we are sharing, right, maybe to like 50-year-olds, you're like, the younger generation.
What the fuck are they teaching?
Yeah, the younger generation is misguided. But I do think that like, not say that, I won't go as far as to say whatever say the tips, but the things we have learned, I think are probably more suited to the new style of working and
Yeah. I think it's more
the new worries that we
yeah,
have.
and some of the things is like things that I say because from what I see from my friends. Because I feel like we come from a very we're working at a very
special case.
Very special case, and then we are quite fortunate to be in this position also.
Yeah, but other
this
people
situation.
Yeah, 100%. And with that, guys, we've talked a lot longer than I thought we were going to talk. Turns out we really have a lot to say about working. I hope Adrian Hui doesn't watch this.
No!
I hope no one from TSL watches this, to be honest.
Wait, we didn't say anything crazy, right?
We didn't, but what if I say something wrong? That people like, hey, Lester's this kind. Lester's the kind that gives 70% at work. Why would they say that? And my PR, 3.10. I hope Adrian Hui isn't watching this stream.
They're not lah.
With that, stay safe. Don't get COVID. See you guys next week.
Is COVID still a thing?
It is still a thing.
Oh, okay.
Stay safe. Don't get COVID and whatever new illnesses that are coming up. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.